today's first class, I thought of having a lecture on why we have to go for natural farming. What was the situation earlier at the time of our independence, and how we could able to achieve spurt in food production due to impact of green revolution. What are the adverse effects of green revolution? What are the present day problems with respect to agriculture, and why so many alternatives have come as compared to our conventional agriculture, like organic agriculture, natural farming, biodynamic farming. All these various alternatives for the present day agriculture practice have been raised. What was the need of having all these different type of farming types to address the problems which are faced by the problems? And the very purpose of having this training program is ICR is also insisting to have a focus on natural farming, because they did some preliminary work at different universities. They have come out with certain good practices of natural farming. So how best we can adopt these good practices of natural farming to the farming community, and how we could able to teach these best technologies of natural farming to our undergraduate and postgraduate students. So in that context, in almost all the universities of the country, the selected universities, they are organizing these type of training programs. So in that way, we are planning the syllabus. Actually, sir, this is a 12 days program. We have planned different lectures for all the 12 days, including some of the exposure visits to the farmers field who are well versed with the adoption of natural farming practices. And our participants are from different states also, sir. Some of the participants are from Dapoli, Maharashtra. Some of them are from PJT SAU, Hyderabad. And the other participants are from US Bangalore, USS Bagalkot, and UAS Rajur, and some scientists are also from UAS Dharwad. So they are all participating in this program. So I invite Dr. M.A. Shankar sir to deliver a lecture on footprints of green revolution impact on natural resources. First he will tell the footprints of green revolution impact on natural resources, and afterwards he will also deliver a lecture on how exactly we could able to achieve the sustainable agricultural production by adopting the natural farming systems. So sir will deliver these two lectures for all of you. Sir is going to present the same through PowerPoint presentations. Sir, if at all, if any questions are there, I'll request the participants to raise the questions at the end of your presentation.
No, then and there will solve it.
Okay, sir.
At the end means they will lose their interest.
Okay. Okay, now I request Dr. M.A. Shankar sir to deliver a lecture.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Because you are regularly habituated to teach the student, not to listen. Anyhow, I'm extremely thankful to this Vice Chancellor of this esteemed university for giving me this opportunity to address an important aspect of the science, especially natural resources management, that is nature farming. That apart, I would like to thank the organizer and the coordinators, Dr. Irana ji and Dr. Giresh ji, who are great stalwarts in the field of agronomy. That apart, I don't say that you are not the stalwarts in the field of agronomy. You were, you are, you will be the stalwarts in the field of agronomy. Agronomy is nothing but a son of many father. Agronomy is nothing but a son of many father. And as a matter of fact, all the sciences of agriculture originated from agronomy itself. As a result, you differentiated yourself into different folds of your life. Different folds. Always there is enmity in life. Even sisters, brothers have quarreled. It is there in the Mahabharata, Ramayana, or any history if you take it. Indian history is the best history in the world to teach the life of existence and survival and the best quality to deal with it. Indian history, if you look at it, always They are the fight between the brothers and sisters and brothers, never-ending problem. The same way, you have created your own science and scientific enmity them yourself, that saying that the egoness of the scientist. The egoness of the scientist, whether pathology is more or entomology is more, agronomy is there or soil science is more. But only I tell you one thing, if you worship soil, it will take care of you. That means to say, if man dies, he goes to the soil. If the soil dies, where to go? Soil is the mother of invention. Manisha satra mannige, manne sattodre nellige. You are not taking care. That's what is happening now. As a matter of fact, I rightly pointed out, the topic is natural farming. It is not new to you. I have to learn from you also at the age of 70. I would like to know more from you also, what I can inculcate in my life, remaining life. I don't know whether I live tomorrow or day after tomorrow or another 2 years or 1 year. But I have to learn the basic principles of nurturing the nature that you have forgotten. You do all nonsense on the earth, but the mother earth do not tell anything to you, but she responds. She gives everything to you, but you say, what is that earth has given to you? The institution where you are working has given everything to you. It has taken care of your family. It has nursed your family. But you say the university has not done the work what I did, has not been recognized. The day will come to recognize, just like glowing sun. Surya ಬೆಳಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗಿನ ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲದವರೆಗೂ, from morning to evening it glows, but it asks nothing. It completes his life. I want the agronomist to be in the same fashion. Do your job. Do your job. And as a matter of fact, coming to the topic of discussion is that Green Revolution. What do you mean by Green Revolution? The Green Revolution is nothing but the feeding the hungry. We had in the 1947, 1940, 45, 46, 47, we had a hunger. We had 497 grams of food for to eat. 490 grams. The population was about 30 crores. We are not able to feed our own population. As a result, the great stalwart in the field of wheat revolution, one of the father of the green revolution in the world is known as Norman Borlaug, who introduced the short wheat. On the contrary, the same wheats were given to us, and another father was generated, is Swaminathan. There is no father actually in the natural resources. Many people have donated, contributed. If you take the history of Hastinapura, finger millet was cultivated and stored in the earthen pots. That is the natural phenomena. 4,000 years back, the finger millet was known to us. Even today, the grasses, we don't know many grasses. Do you know the teff? You have heard of teff? It's a small grain cereal in South Africa. It grows only in 10 to 15 millimeters of rainfall. Today, that is the best cereal in the world to avoid the diseases. We have imbibed ourselves by overeating many diseases. The same way, 475 to 490 grams of food was elevated to 1,500 grams by introduction of this Green Revolution. Green Revolution is nothing but high-yielding varieties. One of the benefits of Green Revolution was high-yielding variety. What it did it? It sucked off the nutrients of the soil. They were dwarf in nature. They sucked off the nutrients, and in addition, they were having high water requirement. I request the folded hand, any mistakes, please stop me. Please correct me. I may go wrong also while delivering in the speed the moment I have to cover two topics as given by my leader Irinaji. I have to cover the two topics. Is a tough job for me in 1.5 hours. So if I commit any mistakes, please correct me. You can add to me. So they were having 85% of the water required. Today there is no water in the world. There is no water in 2% water we estimate, but we don't have the estimate. Our statistics itself is wrong. Statistical data collections itself, documentation of process throughout the world itself is wrong. Today we say that we have average milk consumption of 5 liters per day. Are we meeting the public demand? He says Karnataka is number 1 in milk. Are we getting 5 liters per people? You tell me, ask your heart. Asking question, Andhra Pradesh is number 2 in milk. Is the people getting 4.5 liters of milk from Andhra Pradesh? Or Punjab is getting 5.5 to 6 liters of milk per day per human being. That is the per capita calculation. Is Punjab people getting so much of milk? No. Somewhere there is a data. 2011 data we are comparing in 2025. This is a basic flaw. Basic flaw. That's why systematic accumulation of the data. See, for example, the meteorological observations, what we call, it is a bluff to the public what we are doing now, the climate change. It is irrelevant and irresponsible to say that meteorologically there is a climate change. It is a necessary evil which is occurring in the nature. Some data you have collected, were you well in 300 years back? Just like saying these bloody astrologers in the field, 650 years back, you can see in the WhatsApp, you are getting the benefit of planets. Earlier, our farmers were much well aware of the 27 stars we used to receive the rainfall. Ashwini, Bharani, Mrigashira. Even today, as agriculture graduate, you don't know which is the first rain which occurs in the rainfall. How many rainfall are essential for the productivity of agriculture? Can anyone tell me? No, you don't have. You don't have the data. But the farmer will tell you which data is better, which rainfall is better, whether Ashwini or Mrigashira or Aridra or Swati, but there are each, I didn't bring those data. If there is irrelevance, I thought it may not cover it here. Based on the rainfall data, what we have accumulated. And if you say that properly, the science of these stars is a science by itself in human being. And you name all the buildings and states on the foreigner's name. You don't name the streets on your own scientist's name. Have you seen any university using the Aryabhatta name? Have you seen? You say Mother Teresa. Why can't you put Aryabhatta name? Many forests, many people have originated from Shivamogga. Many times I have pinpointed. Why do you name the western names, I say? You have so many contributors in the Shivamogga region. Why can't you name your own scientists? Aryabhatta was responsible for giving the value to 0. And why I tell you the science prediction should not go wrong is that if you give a proper date of birth, time of birth and nakshatra, I can tell you exactly the correct date whether to have a male or female child. I can predict it. So was the science with the Indian astrology. Today we are missing because of the data accumulation is not proper. Ashwini, Mrigashira, Aridra, 27 stars. So there are so many stars are there, but irrelevance is 27 stars and 9 planets what we have. And we say, how do you get, see for example, our calculations are so perfect that can you divide 360 degree by all numbers? You have not seen. You have seen? Can you divide all the, see numbers are 1 to 9. Can you divide 360 by all numbers? Please look into it. See, don't hold your hand like that. Be participative. Can you think of? Can you divide? See, 1 divided by 360, 360. 2 by 180 like that. You will divide. But you cannot divide by 7. You cannot divide 360 by 7. That means to say, you have 7 numbers. You people have not established how many buttons are there in your shirt. Have you calculated? It is 7 buttons. You count it if you want it. 7. 7 buttons are, additions are there, too many buttons are there. 7 buttons are there. Literally speaking, only 7 buttons are there. It's because of the 7 chakras what we have. We call it chakra wheels. We can't see it, but when you activate the Mooladhara chakra, which is at the base anal region, you can have many diseases in your control. The sannyasis were floating by controlling the Mooladhara chakra. I can teach on all 7 chakras, the basic science. Mooladhara chakra. So Adhisthana, the controlling of the brain. Controlling of the brain. That means to say the meditation. That is the art and science of our people, what we have. 25, 26 cannot be divided by any number. The same way our mathematicians are so great. Ramanujam, we have forgotten his contributions. Ramanujam, the good architect. The same way we go for the Western world, the Green Revolution, because of the short-natured one. What it gave? High fertilizer use, short duration varieties, and use of pesticides. Use of pesticides. ಹಿಂದೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಷಕನ್ಯರು ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತಿದ್ರು. ವಿಷ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ತರ್ತಿದ್ರು? ವಿಷಕನ್ಯರು. There were no, see for example, when Vishakanyas were introduced, there was no poison, I say. It was only the cobra poison which was fed to the women to kill the enemies. There is no other poison except The other venom you can't feed to the human being. Other piece it was only the snake venom which they are using to create a Vishakanyas. This is the science of obscurity, what we had in the nature. And same way, this impact of Green Revolution was to introduce 4 concepts to meet the hunger and high water use efficiency, short duration varieties, then increase in pests and diseases, and the conflicts. Why we are going wrong in relation to the impact, good impact what the Green Revolution had, no doubt in it, we came out from the hunger, from 470 to 1250 to 1600 grams, is today's pending, as on today the population dynamics is that one. Are we in a position to sustain this Green Revolution impact? These are only 4 pillars, no doubt in it. Organic nature farming also revolves on the 4 pillars. Same this also, increase in short duration, high yielding variety, moisture, and you have another new system which has been introduced today, is that you have another new system known as the RDI system of providing nutrition to the cropland. Please switch off your mobiles. If I see anyone, I will fine you 100 rupees. Please switch off your mobiles. I don't like people talking when I am delivering a talk, otherwise I will go out. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Girijesh. I am extremely beholden to my colleague, Dr. Girijesh. He is one of the best registrar, I have administrative officer, I have seen administrative wing of Shumaga. Give me a big hand for him for the good contribution. He is an agronomist basically, good agronom, farm superintendent. So there are many systems has been come now. Then what is the impact of sustainability? These 4 pillars were there, no doubt in it. Increase in water resulted. We resulted in dispute. And what happened is that we lost the land races. The footprints of first systems where we lost the land races. We lost. 1 lakh land races were there. We came down to just 70,000 to 60,000 land races which are available today in the crop species. We lost it because of the Green Revolution, especially in paddy, I am telling you, the land races. Subsequently, the nutrients. Today, the nutrients there in the population. 1.4 billion population has accumulated these nutrients in the body. Where do you get it? From the soil. Have you taken care of the soil? No. You have nothing you had. You added fertilizer, heavy dose of fertilizer, and use of pesticides. These are the 4th and 5th side effects of Green Revolution footprints, what we are seeing that. We added amount. See, are you manufacturing any pathologists here? All our agronomists or pathologists are there. Any pathologists? Yeah. Have you got any new molecules or molecules from India? Any plant protection molecules from India? No more pathology, entomologists? Yeah. Have you got any insecticide from Indian market? India introduced any molecule for control of insects and diseases? We are not introduced. That is the footprints of the Green Revolution. They manufactured and we are being dumped. Today, in we call it boldly agronomist, Roundup has resulted in cancer. The results is cancer. Today you are trying to ban this. And today there are many sciences going on. I will, as and time comes, I will cover it. I may go a little bit fast and shift in unsustainable manner. Somehow you wanted to get the yield. The basic policy of the government is, we know that our land is fragmented and holdings are very, very small. And some of the slides also I repeat when I cover those slides, about 44 slides are there. These issues also will come up. I feel that if there are some duplications, please excuse me. I have to go in such introduction, giving the small topic on the footprints of Green Revolution. See, unsustainable manner. Just like, say, for example, unsustainable manner in the milk industry. The milk is rated on based on the fat content. What the farmers they do? They add all sorts of adulterations like our wheat flour or rice flour to increase the degree, the reading, the density, and it is not a contamination. They will also tap the tapioca milk they add, so that it is very cheap. Tapioca milk is very cheap. They add to the milk and getting polluted. See, for example, to increase the food production, milk production, they use oxytocin. See that the entire milk from the udder comes out. Is it not a pollution? Unsustainable way. The use of fertilizers, pesticides. See, for example, you say pathology. Sir, yourself, you are a pathologist. How does the Bordeaux mixture functions? What is the ethical mode of Bordeaux mixture? You know what is Bordeaux mixture? What is that? Lime and copper sulfate. Do you agree? How does it work? I will cover it. How does the copper sulfate, is it a copper toxic or sulfur is toxic? CuSO4. Plus CaO. Am I right? Then which is the toxic chemical here? See, that's right. See, for example, we are a scientist. We have not understood the basic molecules and how to teach the farmers. So, because CaSO4 and calcium hydroxide. Right? What is the reaction? What is the reaction? CaSO4. This is calcium. Can you tell me, sir, as a pathologist or entomologist, you recommend, am I right? This is being recommended for the control of many of the diseases. This is the common effect. You don't know. But we use Bordeaux mixture. The man who invented many people don't know. Even I tell you, many teachers, professors, they don't go touch details in teaching. That's why the teaching should be a very critical profession. The calcium is a cation or anion? It is a cation. It doesn't have anything. It is, when separated, the sulfur will combine with calcium, forms the calcium sulfate. Calcium sulfate is nothing but a plaster of Paris. Its solubility is very low. It precipitates. Whereas the ore oxygen, which is nascent in origin, which is nascent in oxygen, that is toxic. What is the level of carbon oxygen you are taking inside the air today? What is the percentage of oxygen in the air? 20. Can you live in 20% oxygen? See, we ourselves, we are very much proud of saying that my BP is very high, my sugar is very high, which is a calculation of Western people. No BP so far has been calculated for Indian people. 120 by 80 is the Indian BP. You say it. All useless, rotten doctors. Bogus fellows. This BP is taken for the Western world, and we are in tropical world. Just like saying a proverb, we don't need vitamin D. But today we are forced to eat vitamin D because you have covered your body with full shirts. This is not our culture. We have sufficient abundance of solar energy. If it falls on your body, automatically your body will prepare vitamin D, which is responsible for using Ca. Line, your bone density, we are decreasing. You use Swayam Kruta Aparada, you martarado. Full shirt hakondo, Swayam Kruta Aparada. Mulevala weak ಆಗ್ತವೆ. Shirt ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಭಾಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತೀನಿ, ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಫುಲ್ ಶರ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲ. Not to wear full shirts. Because we have to be exposed to the solar radiation. Same way is copper sulfate. Copper gets precipitated in the soil. As a result, it creates manganese and iron deficiency, which holds the iron and manganese in the soil surface. That's what it is happening in Arakanat garden in Karnataka, Shomaga. Abundantly used. This nascent oxygen, which is very toxic to the microorganism, it gets killed. Nascent oxygen. And we should have between 23 to 25% oxygen in the air to live exactly. If you want to respire. If it exceeds 25 and 26, we feel yourself exhausted. If it comes down below 18%, you feel tired. That's why when you go to the Himalayan, they carry your camphor. Camphor oxidizes and releases oxygen. The same way, I am telling you, the Western world people introduced some of these chemicals which were not known to us, and they created a nuisance and toxicity in the nature, and as a result, we have a lot of issues to focus. Then, shifting unsustainable manner, then suicides have started. Suicides started because of the Green Revolution, and most probably because of the debts. Small farmers. In making ourselves policy decisions in agriculture is concerned. How to siphon off this 58% or 60% of the population which is dependent on agriculture as a main source. When you sell the nutrients or the products, you get money. But farmer, he has to depend on that. But no farmer today is dependent on only on agriculture. He has diversified activity. So there is a need for a new policy issues in relation to the sustainability of agriculture to be taken, and the food inflation started, and the lack of, specifically, the lack of crop rotation. Monocropping. Even today, see, for example, the Green Revolution impact is that who introduced the PDS system and also the use of minimum support price to the crops? Because of Haryana, Punjab and those people who are there common there. Because of those people interest, they introduced this minimum support price. Today we are facing the problem. And we are for scientific pricing, but no one wants to have scientific pricing. So this PDS system, coupled with the use of minimum support price, has resulted in chaos in the farmer, chaos in the problem. Problems aggravated in, especially for Punjab, they produce. Today, the water table has gone down, pollution has created. One train comes from Punjab to Delhi every year, it is called as cancerous train. The same way, many side effects are created in this Green Revolution, and that apart, the birds are get polluted, the animals get polluted, and use of high level of using of antibiotics, streptomycin, streptococci, all those things have resulted in the pollution of milk, because they enhance the milk productivity in animal sector. This is one of the impact of Green Revolution, and overuse of fertilizers. Overuse of fertilizers. Today, the government of India is introducing 1,79,099 crores for fertilizer subsidy. That is your money. 1,79,099 crore rupees for fertilizer subsidy which the farmers are getting. They say government is not giving anything. Without subsidy, you can't sell the price, fertilizers. Think of 1 crore 79 lakhs 009 rupees for fertilizer subsidy. How much if a farmer buys 1 bag of urea? How much subsidy it goes? Calculate yourself. You say nothing. Oh, ellaru heltara kanbuchkondu politicians alla which are not. So who is paying that? You are paying. The fertilizer subsidy, the farmers are getting the. No one accounts for it. Subsidy fertilizer, what we are giving, they say you have not done anything to the fertilizer. Of course, we are not giving scientific pricing. If we give a scientific pricing, we can remove these aspects of minimum support price. And 85% of the what groundwater we are using or rail water irrigation we are using can be minimized. That apart, we can see the data from 2013 to 14. In spite of variation in temperature, the food production and rainfall, the food production has remained almost stagnant. I mean, the little bit improvement is there. Especially in 2020, 21, 22, there is a percent increase of 109 to 111% increase in the food production. This is not only due to the production, but also the techniques adopted by the farming community and the interventions. We don't want to pad the contribution of agriculture scientists in enhancing the productivity. You say that only rice and wheat. Others, say for example, southern states where the contribution of red gram, 80% of the red gram is from southern states. 70% of the green gram and 75% of the urd dal is from, and also chana, that is Bengal gram, is also from southern states, especially Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Orissa, all these places, parts of Orissa are contributing enormous amount of pulses for the food grain baskets. That's why, and also the horticulture crops. Especially the Karnataka is number one in the entire India, where it contributes to the tune of 60 to 65% of the domestic production in the horticulture sector, has contributed immensely for the football. Horticulture is separate, but here only agriculture I am telling you. On the other side, we try to know that 60 to 70% of the residues, crop residues, you use it as an animal fodder. But this animal fodder is also having a lot of diversified uses and creating a fodder shortage, and the fodder non-availability is there. Animals are overgrazing it and resulting in the soil nutrient loss. Nutrient deficiencies have occurred. All these are happened because of the oil production has dropped because of the green revolution impact. That's why they have introduced the system of one district, one crop has been introduced. I'll tell you the various schemes also. I'll sum up why this has posted now. This is the impact of green revolution. Where exactly go? See, for example, Korean when introduced the red gram. That's why any policies in agriculture to be introduced plays a pivotal role of three people. There are three pillars. One is political will, administrative skill, management strategies. See, we can produce you cannot produce the amount of food required for human being, but you can produce the ammunition what you wanted. It is difficult to produce. As honeybee says, Yadav, one people said to honeybee, do you know the lifespan of honeybee? Entomologists? What is the lifespan of honeybee? Honeybee, lifespan of honeybee. Many people don't know. It is 42 days, maximum 45 days. To create 1 gram, 0.5 grams of honey, it visits 20 million flowers. What a contribution it does it. So, to tell you this small joke, someone told the honey that people are stealing away your honey. And then honeybee said, let them steal. After all, they are stealing honey, but they can't make honey. You can't make honey. The same way, you cannot prepare the food what you need it. It has to be grown. Natural contribution is there. To fix 1 gram of carbon dioxide to the nature, conversion into organic carbon or the sugar, do you know how much of water is required? You are not calculating. You say only the agronomist irrigation. Do you know how much of water is required? To fix 1 gram of carbon, as an agronomist, to fix 1 gram of carbon, C6H12O6, how much of water is it? Yes, in 20s. To fix 1 gram of carbon, we are not calculating. We are not established. You say that per kg of paddy production or rice production, we use about 4,000 to 5,000 liters of water. But if you produce 1 pair of shoes, 2,800 liters of water. If you produce 1 car, 28,000 liters of water. You are estimating that way. 28,000 liters of water is per 1 car. At 4,000 rupees, 4,000 liters for 4 to 5,000 for 1 kg of rice. Here you stand now. The enormous energy which has been liberated needs to be calculated. Hence, the relevance of water conservation techniques, organic carbon techniques, and nutrient management techniques plays a pivotal role in days to come, because of the increased pollution. What we are seeing is creating abundant cures, especially the introduction of the green revolution, which played a pivotal role in not only preventing hunger, but it created malnutrition and obesity. It created malnutrition because especially the wheat is not recommended for our days. Now it has come up now. Today we want to have the millets mela. Millets, everywhere you see the millets. Can our digestive system take the millets? Can the South Indian, though it was there in history that the millets were used in India long back, but you couldn't take it so easily because you are adjusted to the rice eating. You can't alternate it. So you have to develop very systematic data in relation to the food science in the world is there. Though you produce, but you can't consume it because, say for example, one of the example, you are trying to eat badam nowadays. Because badam, California badam is produced. You people consume as if it is very cheaply available, but you don't know that the entire oil has been sucked off from your badam what you are getting in the market. The de-oiled badam what you are getting in the market. The with oil badam is very expensive. It is 3,000 to 3,500 rupees is the badam rate. You are getting 2,000 to 2,500 rupees after de-oiling the almond. Almond has been removed now, oil has been removed, and we are using it here now. The same way, see for example, I am the nutritional factor and telling you that if you consume as it is with a quart of almond, there is a lot of phenols and polyphenols which obstructs the absorption of phytic acid, which obstructs the absorption of iron metal. The same way in ragi also, we have a lot of phytic acid and calcium absorption and iron absorption is affected. That's why when you want to go for a food and nutrition techniques, you should have a teacher from food and nutrition and a biochemistry. They make the three pillars of agriculture science in order to develop a better agronomy is physics, chemistry and mathematics. Without this, you cannot have. So why I am telling all these things is that you are going to develop a syllabus to the natural farming to the government of India. You have to think of whether to revive, why I gave an example of the 7 number also. You should think of what proportion of physics should be there. See, for example, all are vibrations. The plants are talking, which I'm going to give you an example later on. Vibrations are there. These vibrations and sensations, skin sensations. The plants absorb nutrient from the soil. Plant release some pheromones, hormones, which are not just steady, and the soil releases the nutrient. For which microbiology is needed. Microbiology is needed. This microbiology comes from organic farming. When you apply fertilizer, there are more than trillions of microorganisms if you take a handful of soils. But only 11 are most important as of today, which we have studied with the betterment for agricultural program, and 3 more were added recently in relation to that. We need about 21 micronutrients. The plant absorbs over 90 nutrients. Different variants. As I told you, arsenic is present in your almond. Chemicals are there, and some of the heavy metals are also there in this because use of rolled rice. We could see the cadmium content. But cadmium is very much essential. Chromium is also essential. Especially the chromium is very much essential for your spleen to function. But today, the chromium and cadmium and lead are very heavy in Bangalore. So that's why the liver and kidney patients have increased. This is the side effect of green revolution, what I can tell you. Because of the salaries which are produced from the untreated sewage water. When I was the director of research, the late Krishna Goda said, Krishna Goda, that I am going to use the solar using of Bangalore wastewater. Then I told him, I was the director of research, I told him, sir, you are going to pollute the solar soils. Every, when development commissioner or chief secretary is sitting as if you know, sir, I have the data, I am a scientist. I can tell you, when you pollute the soil, you can't revive back to your polar soils. Yeah, what is that? When you revive the polar soils, sir, even if you go 5 or 10,000 crores or an entire Indian economy money, if you put it to the polar soils, you can't improve. You cannot bring that to the normal conditions, especially the polar cold field mines. Why? Any soil scientist here? You are a soil scientist? Can you bring the polar soils? You know polar gold mine. Can you bring that to the normal soils? Which is the living metal? That's why I tell you should be specific. Which is the living metal? It is potassium cyanide. Unless you add potassium cyanide to the soil, when the soil is crushed to remove the gold particles, the gold will not get separated. And that's accumulated potassium cyanide, the half-life is 500 years. Half-life is 500 years. Even the entire amount of India is spending, you be incorporated into this one, you cannot do it. The same way I can tell you, wherever the mines are there, the drier zones are there. If you go to Chitradurga, copper mining. If you go to Mysore, manganese mining. All these mining areas, though we feel that they are essential, but they are polluting the soil. I can give you many more examples like this. So, the impact of green revolution, though it is having a beneficial effect, it too had lot of negative impacts on the human being. Also on the natural resources. Thus, what we want to tell you is that Will you sustain this production by longer term by using the green revolution technology? Is a question to us. Because soil is the mother of invention and mother of all activities to us. As I told you, if a man dies, he goes to soil. If the soil dies, where to grow? Under such circumstances, what is that? Many people have defined, and today's course is that is natural farming. What exactly you mean by natural farming? See, one side, we want to enhance the productivity. Just by managing spacing, irrigation, and nutrient management, you can alter the productivity. But we have failed to reach the farming community. As a director of research, I tell you, to carry a spacing of 6 feet in sugarcane, it took 40 years. 40 years. In mulberry cultivation, to change from 90 centimeter to 150 centimeter, it took 7 years. The same way, spacing, nutrient management, and the climatic adversities will play a critical role. Even today, we don't know, for example, mango. Mango weighs so heavily that only 0.03% of the flowering bears the fruit. What are the reasons? Whether the mango by default is natural fruiting mango, or, for example, almost all horticulture crops are basically devoid of fertilizer, we can call nature farming. But now, consequent to the economic importance you apply, say for example, walnut is basically a zero budget crop. It grows in Himalayas, walnut, cashew. Then your cashew nut, they don't have any fertilizer, cashew. But you go for the commercial cropping systems like arganite. Earlier it was a nature farming crop. Now we are trying to introduce heavy yielding, high yielding varieties and resulted in the fertilizer management and irrigation management. Now recently, one of the startup has come out with an excellent approach of growing the RDI system of irrigation. RDI system of irrigation, that is micro level irrigation. It is a small tube covered with the micro perforations. And by this, using these micro perforations, we can, it will be buried in the soil and we can save only by using 50% of the water, we can grow the crop and double the yield of crops, and it's eco-friendly and nature-friendly system of agriculture production system, and the drip irrigation is called as RDA system. This is basically involving crop physiology and biochemistry. Roots, what they do is they sensitize the roots when they emit some of the pheromones and hormones. The tubes which have, they release the sensations and they release nutrients from the soil flora, and we get the yield. Startup has done, it has come up, and it is 80% eco-friendly, and that is known as grow stream system of agriculture. Grow stream, it is catching up in America, it's catching up in United States. Startup has done grow stream cultivation. Now, I tell you further, in new innovations of agriculture in a green revolution system, capturing the carbon dioxide and preparing the protein required. Oxygen from the air, they suck the carbon dioxide, then prepare the protein molecules by using the microbes and enhance the product. Now it is already in Singapore, they are using proteins from the air. They are preparing the protein from the air. And the third one is harvesting the moisture from the air. Harvesting the moisture from the air itself in the arid zones where we are. And what will be the impact of the gravitation? We have to study that one. With this, the effect of green revolution is much more felt in relation to soil nutrients, depletion of yield, use of pesticides, and especially in relation to the water requirement. We have lost a lot of water in relation to the green revolution, introduction of high yielding varieties, and we need to go for conserving this activity, for which we think that to enhance the quality of life, we should think of alternative system of agriculture, that is going in for the natural system of agriculture which was existing in nature for us. Will it sustain the feeding hungry people in India is a question to us. Will it feed that? See, for example, the vibrations which are created. See, for example, we have a lot of science in obscurity. You know that sorry if any other religions are there, you should not mistake me, that in Hindu temples, almost all these stones, goddesses stones, Manisha Inge Andre, Kallu Nelmel Bididaradan Oditana, if they kick the stones, but when they carve it and chisel it, when they keep it in the inside a temple, they go and cry before the God, oh God, I want this one and that one. This is the nature. You go and pray your own stone. The same way, these goddesses are made of one stone is called a basalt stone or Krishna Shile. In Kannada we call it as Krishna Shile. It is the hardest stone in the rocky system of geology. It is having a vibration in such a way that if you give a vibration, it sends back the vibration. It sends back the vibration. It sends back the vibration. The same way, natural system of cultivation is such that what all you send the waves and vibrations, it sends back the vibrations to you in a befitting way. That means to say, if you create a good environment, it gives a good environment to you. The same way, so with this, the green revolution impacts are many more, especially in waterfalls. Thousands of acres have been lost because of over irrigation and over pesticide dose. And though it has introduced the farm mechanization in the area of farm mechanization, soil solidification has taken place. Soil solidification. Nutrient dynamics, much more I can speak on that, especially on the farm mechanization, has created a havoc in the green revolution system. So with this, we feel that there is need to go for organic farming and natural farming or zero budget farming. What are the basic differences in these systems, and let us dissect and know where exactly we stand in relation to the aspects of today's discussion. So with this, I have any questions on green revolution? I have not covered some more on the insecticide, which I wanted to reduce it. So with this, impact of green revolution was soil health, soil productivity, biodiversity lost, I have touched upon. I touched upon the biodiversity, human and animal health, use of this one, then environment and social aspects are touched. Social conflicts have started because of this one, and economic status have been resulted in very, very badly. You can see the problems of modern farming is that what we have, the climate change reality, reduced organic matter, decline in soil health, disease and pests, human and animal health, and labor and market. Especially the labor market is very, very problematic today. We don't have the labor market. Labor is very tough. In the rural area, if you go, there is no labor at all. No labor at all. Harvesting a coconut is becoming a tough job now. The same way, we have climate, say we call it as a climate change. This climate change, whether it is a permanent or temporary, we don't know. Still we have to wait and see how the climate change is going to behave in near future to come. These are the problem. And nature-friendly farming. Now is the time for nature-friendly farming to become mainstream unless we urgently transition to a farming system that produces sustainable that produce sustainable food, reduces emissions, restores. Go back. Go back. Yeah. This pointer is not, I should not have bought my pointer. Yeah. So reduce emissions, restores habits, and sequesters the carbon, formal livelihoods, etc. Today we are thinking of carbon, everywhere you see carbon. As I told you in the beginning, the soil sample we are fed to the machine. Today we call, breeder, PCR. You go and ask him what is the meaning of PCR. He doesn't know what is PCR. Okay, and you have crores of rupees PCR pending. What is the contribution of PCR today in the agriculture production? No, it is only a farmer who has contributed. See, for example, sericulture, we took 500 crores. Ultimately, the farmer variety came to the market. None of them produced the silk. As one of the, because poor man's work, rich man's dress, sericulture. We have taken 500 crore rupees worth of silk development board. All silk board is missing and closing it. This is how I tell you, we have to think of scientific thinking and administrative skills and implementation. If you go to AS officer, that fellow will not bend to you. I was the man who opposed. I lost my vice chancellor post because of this. I told what we call Development Commission Chief Secretary, you can't revive. And one fellow from Bengaluru University said, I need 50 crores. I can repair the polar soil. I said, you go and do it. To Krishna Bairagoda, I told him, you can't use polluted water now, let them come. Yesterday, last week, you should have seen in the paper how food is polluted in the Bengaluru vegetable market. Almost all vegetables are polluted with heavy metals. This is the fate will happen. No, cannot consume later on. Once again, you go for organics. The same way, the carbon footprints, the amount of carbon, see, soil scientists also play a pivotal role. And they think that they are the great. On one side, agronomy says spacing is good, he thinks he is better. Entomology says only two types of medicines are there. One is contact, another is stomach poisoning. Am I right? Entomologist? Only two types. What is there, man, is systematic, all those things. Only one is contact, another is stomach poisoning. Maybe neurotoxin or other toxins. Only except two, there is nothing else. You say, I am great. My entomologist says, I am great. Where do you stand? Where the farmer stands? See, for example, the amount of organic carbon estimation, soil sample is used as only 0.5 gram. 0.5 gram, am I right? Amount of soil, you don't know many people, how much of soil is fed to the, knowing the organic carbon. Do you know? By knowing this? Only 0.5 gram, 1 hectare area or 1 acre area, it will represent organic carbon. In the Mughal period, organic carbon was 3%. Then what happened to the carbon now? We are exhausted. You remove from the soil. Organic carbon is not, see, it is nothing. Organic carbon is adding format menu, nothing. No. Organic carbon adding and organic carbon accumulation has a different story by itself. You have to cool it. You don't apply the oil to the soil, but apply oil to some other place. Am I right? In the evening, everyone applies oil, but they don't apply oil to the soil, your whole head. Am I right? See, I tell you one thing. 72,000 nerves are connected in one place in your body. Which is the biggest part of our body? Head. Biggest body is head. Biggest part of the body. Sir, yours is there, sir. I can't hear. Liver, head, then kidney, or the intestine. Sorry, please. Anyone else? Skin. Exactly. I'm really thankful. Skin is the biggest body. You don't care of your skin. You don't apply oil to the skin at all. How do you feel that the skin will improve? All diseases will come, it's difficult to cure the disease. Same way, the calculations and the data what we use should be specific. 0.5 gram, you say organic carbon. Someone from Western world says organic carbon. Even no one has seen organic carbon, or no one has seen nitrogen, or no one has seen any other gases. Oxygen is not. Although we believe that it is a fake. Just like saying a cow, Matra Devo Bhava. Do you know what the Matra Devo Bhava came? Yes. Can anyone see? That's what I'm telling you. Hindu culture is the first culture before going for nature farming. Why Matra Devo Bhava? Why not Pitra Devo Bhava? Yes, Pitra Deva is a contributor for the gene. Why Matra Deva Bhava? Janma Putra. She gave birth. No, it's not that. Sacrifice. No. Only she knows to whom you are born. She knows to whom the baby is born. There may be multiple husbands, a triple husband, a single husband. So, Matra Deva means she knows to whom he is born, baby is born. That's why we are attached. Matra Deva in Hindu culture. And you keep coconutting your marriages, it's not. Because teaching continuously also you feel bored. Am I right? So when you keep coconutting your hand, why do you keep the coconut in your hand? Why don't you keep mango or pineapple or jackfruit or some other fruit? Why do you keep it? See, lovely speak. When I speak so lovely speak, I know the impact in the evening when it's not so lovely. Because we call Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, which is going to start now. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, one step plus. These, all the three eyes are there. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara and coconut. And we can't keep bringing the God cannot be kept there. And Moor Karna, all the three eyed fruit is only this one. Coconut, that's why Hindus keep the coconut on the hands of this one. The same way. Same thing, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Then we will believe it. That's what I'm telling you. The nature forming is nature. I'm trying to take it that way. The nature forming is nature. I gave an example of the Krishna Shile, how it gives the sound of all. See, for example, you go and worship Agya. Agya means water. You give it to the Surya. Am I right? You give it to the Surya. How do you give Agya to the sun? Like this. Can you demonstrate? Take what they are. That's what I'm telling you. The science of Hindu culture is such that it is hidden obscurity. See, some people they take water, they put it like this. Some people take a bowl like that. If it's a thick thing is a bowl, they put it like this. And then some people, wrong. What you have to take is, you have to take a bowl of water, then take the water to the top of position of your body. And use your four tongue fingers to tip the water and see that there is a film of water created. This film should have an interaction of sun rays, and all the sun rays should get divided into 7 colors, and that is called as color therapy. Color therapy. If you do it perfectly, the color therapy, you will have many diseases. And you should not tell them not to out of input in atmospheric. No, you should do it for 5 to 10 minutes, and the colors will have an impact. And will have an impact on your. The same way, nature forming is nature friendly, eco friendly, and it has many benefits in nature. And as I told you, honeybee and nature friendly farming is that the integrated farming systems. We never lived in isolation. We wanted to go for interlink. And the basic principles of nature farming is that first basic principles of nature farming is that we have to go for the slides Madila. See, the time given to me was only 1 week, otherwise I would have prepared much more, and I could not get sufficient time. That's why the slides are not up to the mark of my expectations. And I have studied a lot before coming here to answer you some of the questions. I like it always. Where it is missing. I have summed up in the last para. It will come once again when I go to the last para. I will detail in that. There are 4 pillars of green organic farming, which I have to go for that. Then the same way, the Christian farming, then biodynamic farming, and benefits of agroforestry. We never go against these principles. These are the basic principles of natural farming. Then challenges is feeding growing population. Will this nature farming feed the growing population? See the begging bowls and how the climate change is going to have it. So, for example, as the world population continues to grow, the demand for food is going to increase. No, it is wrong. It won't increase. The amount of food pollution what you are creating in body is very, very bad. Obese. Some of them are obese. Even if we eat once, it's more than sufficient. We are eating 3 times, 4 times. Coffee and tea consuming more. The milk is heavy consumption. And you have to have to develop. See, for example, at the age of 70, do you know my habits? I take only 2 weeks. Morning, after moment. After 5 o'clock, nothing a day. Even milk will not touch. No, fruits also will not touch. And they have this one. You say that acidity will come, nonsense will come. No. And Monday is full fasting. Morning 24, 42, 36, 42 hours. Morning to next day morning, you go fasting. You will improve. You will not go to doctor. I will assure you. You will not go to doctor. But you don't do what? Fasting and do one other kg apple, one other kg grapes, one other kilo ಗೋಡಂಬಿ and other kilo ಬಾದಾಮಿ ತಿನ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು you have to go to doctor. Don't drink anything. Leave it fast. Now recently it has come up in the science that intermittent fasting is better for the type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes. Why is the type 2 diabetes is coming? Because of your insulin resistance. You have insulin production, but you have to have a messenger to carry the insulin to the body, to inside, that is missing. That is missing. That's why to create a harmonial function, you don't stress your body. Say 50% of your body is your both the legs, blood, nervous system. I told you 72 types of nervous system, 72,000 nadis are there. It's the gift from your mother, is your umbilical cord. You apply 7 drops of oil per week, 3 each a day. You will not go to doctor in your life. Your eye problem will disappear, your burning problem will appear here. You apply 7 drops of oil and sleep. Don't do any other work. Any oil, whichever you want. Either coconut oil or a castor oil or your mustard oil or tea oil. Apply only 7 drops. Don't use excess. You will not go to doctor at all. Castor oil is the best one when compared to all these aspects. But traditional practice can be unsustainable to lead to environmental degradation. On the contrary, you can take all the slides. You can take it down. You can have the slides. Or you give me your email, I will post it to your emails. Don't worry. It's all yours only. It's not mine. I am only a beggar. I have to start from you. I am learning from you people how to be silenced. Then climate change, still it is in infancy. We don't know how the climate change behaves. We don't know how the oxygen, carbon dioxide concentrations are behaving. We are just trying to know the impacts. And we have yet to then what is sustainable? What do you mean by sustainable? Sustainable is not a single factor. It depends. Each family is a sustainable factor needs to be worked out. If there are 6 crore population or 1 crore, 140 crore population, there is 1 crore 40,000, 140 crore sustainable parameters are there. It is not equal among, but we are trying to draw a commonality that it is common to all. That's what we are trying to air now here. So sustainable differs from family to family, place to place, origin to origin. See, for example, wheat is not required for us. They are bouncing the wheat because there is no market. South India should wheat because we don't have the gluten digestibility in South India, and we are eating chapati and trying to have the gluten problem. See, for example, we don't want to consume milk. The best milk is goat milk. You don't drink the goat milk because of the stinking nature. The feeding habits of goat also is different. How does the goat and sheep feed? Any veterinarian here? How does the goat and sheep feed? Stall feeding. Goat raises his head, feed on the, yes, somewhat true. See, sheep grazes, it takes the soil, but goat lips. Only lips are, which is the toughest body in your part in your body? Toughest part in your body. Tongue is the exile. Really, I am proud of you, sir. Hats off to you. Tongue is the toughest organ in your body. Not so soft, but very toughest. Muscle. Toughest muscle. Toughest muscle is tongue. In the same way, although these developments have made many positive effects and reduced any risk of farming, they also come with significant costs, including topsoil depletion, groundwater contamination, greenhouse gas emissions, among others. Consequently, a growing movement for sustainable agriculture has emerged during the past few decades to question the necessity of these high costs and offer innovative alternative today. The movement of generating increasing support for acceptance within our food production systems. So, economic profitability, environmental health, and see, for example, social and economic equity. This is the burrowing problem where we have. This is the very ticklish problem where we have. Very ticklish problem. 3 basic goals of sustainability. It is very difficult to meet in agriculture. See, for example, if you take a vehicle manufacturing or any other parts, we can get this, but not in agriculture. It differs from place to place. See, for example, when I told the Mandya people once that when I was the chief scientist, go for converting the ethanol product by using sugarcane, the local politicians were hesitant to go for ethanol production. Now, see, for example, Shimoga people are told many times, so much of bamboo is available in Shimoga area, go for ethanol production and lot of biomass is available, they don't want to take it. See, such is the system, you don't want to have it. So much of bamboo is there in this area and green mass, definitely ethanol production will be very cheapest here in this area, in mountain area, in Coorg and Shimoga area. The same way, this is the major problem. Sustainable agriculture, agroecology, regeneration agriculture, organic farming, natural farming, etc. are most common terms used to describe various sustainable agriculture. As you go deeper and deeper, you are going to have it. Now, what is the basic aim of this sustainable? One side, the green revolution is only hungry nutrition, but here we need satisfy human food and fiber needs, then enhance environmental quality and promote healthy biodiversity, and then manage natural resources likely. Natural resources. See, for example, who introduced your water treatment plants, your RO plants? We never used to it. Just like I gave an example of vitamin D, we are calling it the food cloth. Who introduced this? Very fellow special people, they introduced, we used to drink any railway station paying our hands. Today we can't drink water because our stomachs are so sensitive. We have to go for RO, the bottles are there with us. Who introduced this? Special people, we have a market for their industry. That's what I'm saying, industry and agriculture, they fight always. Then we don't get minerals at all. The deep mineral water you are drinking. That's why we need to drink water. We are getting deep mineral water from here, RO machines. You are not getting the minerals at all. Your body is getting deep mineral and we are saying that we use extra minerals. This is the water has created a health resource to you. Vitamin D and magnesium is very much, yes, magnesium. Magnesium is very much essential for your myocardial maintenance, that is heart maintenance. If the magnesium is not there, your heartbeat rhythms will be very defective. The same way, magnesium is defective. That's why the role of industries and the natural resources. Natural resources. See, don't drink hot water is the best one. See, in our olden days, we used to keep the water in copper vessels. The copper vessel never used to get spoiled because copper is an anti-microbial copper. See, the technology we are doing in India is so great that if you go to anybody from Maharashtra, they have visited Kolhapur, Devi temple, have seen the temple Devi there. What is that? 3 metals. What a great. Silver, copper, and another is alloy. All the 3 are united and Devi idea has been made. How did they join this? 3 metals, 20 points. There is no scar at all, no welding at all. All have been structured. It is there in Kolhapur. Kolhapur Maharashtra temple, it is there 3 metals. One Hittale, silver, copper. All the 3 metals. The head is made up of silver, the body is made up of copper, and the footprints are made of what we call another brass. All the 3. How did we join this? Our Indians had a skill. See, that's what I'm telling you. The examples I'm giving you. Make the most efficient and non-renewable resources and on-farm resources. Non-renewable, so much of non-renewable resources are there. You can use this, then integrate natural biological cycles of control, then sustain economic viability of farm operations, increase in farm income. That's the most important for all of us we are trying. Then these are all the types of farming which I told you. See, for example, what way organic farming produces. See, for example, in India, today organic farming is there in about Sir, ನಮ್ಮ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಟೀಚರ್ ಬಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ See, in organic farming, had they given me one more week, I would have much more mastered, but the time was not sufficient for me. Yeah, about 2.5 million acre is there in organic farming as on today. 2.8 million hectares is there in organic, just less than 2% of the Indian population. And natural farming, we have about 4.909 lakh hectares in natural farming, and permaculture farming is about 0.05%, and biodynamic farming is having about 9,131 hectares, and estimated area of conservation agriculture is about not been given here. There are 9.2 million is precision farming. Then agroforestry is about 25 million tons, 25 million hectares. Then sustainable rice intensification is about 3 million hectares, and integrated farming system is about 5 million hectares, and integrated farming system is about 0.1 million hectares. So, and vertical farming, etc. These are the systems of farming where natural farming is going to take place. I'm going to, at the end, I'm going to sum up what exactly is the natural farming. Organic farming prohibits use of synthetics, maintains organic matter levels, encourages biological activity, using relatively insoluble nutrients, effective recycling of organic materials or livestock manures, crop residues, etc., weed and disease and pest management. See, some of the weeds and pest management or botanicals can be used. Even today it's coming up. Do you know the head gloves? See, you have the head gloves, no? Or any insecticides, leptopterans can be controlled by using sitapal seeds. Soak the sitapal seeds, custard apple seeds, soak it, then 50 grams, then spray it for 1 gunta, automatically leptopterans will, but you have to go for 3 sprays when you go for organic. Sitapal, make a paste of sitapal seeds, apply to your head, and your dandruff will go. Dandruff will go, and head gloves will go disappear within no day. And if you have animals have a problem, if you have that head gloves and insects which are there, animal bothering, you prepare sitapal paste, then smear it on the tail, that means insects will go. So many techniques are there. Sitapal leaves, seeds can be used in a befitting way. The same way botanicals are being used. I can teach another 1 hour if you want on botanicals and animal health management. The same way we have a lot of resources. The same way weeds also can be managed. Today the diversification. See, for example, weeds are the real medicinal value. See, for example, Tradox procumbens. Just like it's a very good weed. If you have any wounds, if you apply to the wound will heal by itself. There is no tetanus required. The same way, if you have any ulceration in the mouth, the Solanum cassiana, your fruits, if you eat, your ulcers will go away. Like that, weeds are made. See, for example, even today, in spite of increasing the medical facilities, there is no medical for Phyllanthus neruri. There is no substitute for Phyllanthus neruri. Ground for jaundice, ground amla. It is for jaundice. The leaves are prepared and juice is made for jaundice disease. That is the only substitute. Same way we are trying to introduce the herbicides and killing these then conservation of wildlife and natural habitats. See, for example, if you go to nomads, you should go to nomads. They have different indigenous techniques and acoustics. Acoustics means sounds. They have how to attract the insects, birds, and how to give it. There is a big boat I have seen in Valleval area, there when nomad tribes are there. They are called Koligas. Koligas, they put prints of snakes, they will tell you which type of snake has gone in. Snake. The same way they have for insects, animals, wild animals, how to keep them away, also the technology is there. And then conservation of wildlife and use of wildlife for their product. Now recently you can see in the TV, a lot of work is going on Puliuguru. All nonsense. The same way, the natural farming includes Subhash Palekar. This gentleman has come from Maharashtra, has created another havoc for us. I don't know how we are going to meet this problem. Single cow, 1 hectare he can provide nutrients. It's all bogus. We should not try to fool the farmers, because one side we say economic, another side we hear productivity, another side we call it nutrient. That's why I told you, political will, scientific skill and management strategies. They play a pivotal role. So these people are trying to play with us, and how we can go with this. Say for example, termed as a do nothing farming. And okay, in Japan he has tried, population is decreasing, but the Indian population, if you apply natural farming, every fellow will be hungry. And I don't want you to have so much of hungriness and keep your stomach empty. Take all your slides. These slides will be self-effective. Sir, time ಆಯ್ತಾ sir?
Another 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes. In the 20 slides, I will go first then. The stimulating botanical extracts and polycropping. Is the need? Then permaculture, these are the examples I have given you. Then dynamic farmings are there. Use of biotic preparations, approaches to pest and disease, holistic approach. Then ecosystem approach, especially conservation agriculture. The minimum mechanical disturbance. It is not all possible in India. Minimum mechanical is not at all possible because of the nature of crust, SSQ oxides. I can go very deep, but the time is not there. Permanent maintenance of soil mulch. Is it possible when you have so much of population? We don't have mulch to prevent. Nowadays, say for example, one fellow when I was there, I had been to ICR evaluation committee. He said, I am using newspaper. Nonsense, you fellow, I told him. Because the newspaper is having a lot of lead. Are not contaminating lead to the soil. Earlier we used to, I don't paint my body with any lead content. The moment you use your all coatings for your hair, you use lead. Invariably lead is necessary. Otherwise you will not get the black hairs. Lead is the basic core. So you get percolated and nervous systems will problem. The same way, permanent maintenance of soil, then precision farming, use of uniform information technology. As I told you, information technology. The roots have a special techniques. They emit radiations. I told you, they emit radiations. Roots. Then the whole lot of volatiles are coming out. They release sensory organs and sensory tubes will release nutrients. There is a saving of 80% of the natural resources by using these grow techniques. The same way, site-specific nutrient, SSNM, they will not work because we don't. See, for example, soil scientists are here, no? How many are there? 3 are there, I think, soil scientists. Can you tell me a single table soil test, if I give you, is suitable for this crop? No. Just you say high, medium, low. Low, medium, high, etc. But I cannot say that this crop can be grown, this cannot be grown. We don't know how they behave. Only we say nitrogen is high, or nitrogen is medium, or low. But you have not developed crop-specific nutrient requirement tables. Still, all the agriculture universities, I tell you, have they developed crop-specific, nutrient-specific tables based on the soil tests? Tell me, no, frankly we discuss, it's a discussion. The scheme, Mama, how many years you want? How many years you want? You know the nutrient content, you know the nutrient uptake of paddy or sugarcane or etc. Say for example, if you take nutrient content of 0.3% of sugarcane, 100 tons, is about 350 kg of nitrogen is required. What is the cycling requirement of nitrogen? So total soil balance, at about 1200 kg of nitrogen is required to balance the sugarcane crop alone. Have done such systems? No. Just we say low, medium, high. He says, if you take any sugar, doctor, he says, your sugar level is very high. I need to have a glycomet. You need glycomet, which is cancer. Am I right? Or if you have BP more. So BP is not ours, 120 by 80. Or if you are bleeding, you invariably have for goal some needing BP medicine. No, but we have not, just we have soil tests. But the soil test, health card we have released. But the relevance of soil in relation to farming requirement we are not doing. Do you agree? No one wants to accept the fault. See, for example, you say 100, there is 350 kg nitrogen. Can I grow sugar cane or can I grow tomato? Can you tell me? Okay, why you are silent? We are not told. Still there is infancy. The same way, system partial control operations, then system of collecting spatial information, then agroforestry, you know that. What is the relevance of agroforestry? What it plays a pivotal role? Then integrated farming system. See, each farmer is an integrated farming system by himself. Each farmer. See, you can't specify just developing a one hectare of land, go this, that, etc. Based on his market need and his requirement, he has integrated farming. So, instead of that, strengthening the farming system, you say, strengthen the farming system, existing farmer, what he has, and strengthen that one is my options. Then, Why is important to move towards the sustainable agriculture is securing farmers' income, then diversifying source income, empowering farmers to set price, then reducing chances of crop failure. When go for a diversification, crop failure will be sustained, increasing soil fertility. See, in green revolution, as I told you, there is no only monocropping. There is no crop rotation. Rice wheat, there is no pulse. The soil fertility can be maintained and increase in soil fertility. Second one, then lowering cost of production by going in for this measure, ensuring nutritional food security. These are all the effects of this one. Then enhancing resource use of site-specific agricultural practices, production of healthy and clean foods. Then policy of government, as I told you, narrow focus. The policy of this is narrow focus, conversion of agricultural land to urban usage. You can see almost all Bangalore agricultural production is lost. In Shivamoga, all production lots are lost nearby Maharashtra. If you go to Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, all productive soils are being sold to the conversion of sites, households. Am I right? So then where do the agricultures exist? Then your infrastructure, what you have developed, if you go and see the Mysore, the irrigation facilities, what they have developed in Mysore, is all becoming defunct. It's a waste. The same way, see, conversion of agricultural land, prioritization of overall food sufficiency. I tell you, these alternative food systems will come down. As I gave you an example of protein development through carbon dioxide, air preparation, then specific nutrient supply systems, then going in for harvesting of water, not for RO systems. The same way, low involvement of private sectors, they don't come. See, for example, today, you have started so many horticulture colleges. There are more than 50 to 100 horticulture colleges. Are we meeting the demand of horticulture nurseries? Everywhere, any state you go today, 90% of the nurseries are in private sector. Not even one agriculture university is providing the required horticulture crops to the farming community. We say we are horticulture graduates, but we are not in a position to provide any horticulture seedlings or saplings which are required for the farming community at their doorstep. But nursery people are doing. Nursery, same way, I tell you, infrastructure and technological deficiency, small small holdings. This is one of the problems. Then these are all the hesitation of the farmer to go. Initial decline in yields is there. Then labor incentive, lack of assured market. See, the basic, as I told you in the beginning, one side, there are 3 C's. One is caste, another is cash, another is, tell me, one is caste, he's playing a player, he is my man, you give him some price. Another is caste, then another is cash. Where do you view this? Another is culture. It plays a pivotal role. Then capital requirement, knowledge barrier and lack of awareness. The reforming policies of institutions, challenges, empowering farmers of rural community, and that's what FPOs have come now. Maharashtra, many FPOs are coming forward. I am really proud. In Gujarat, many FPOs have come, but unfortunately, one of the best FPO is Korean Milks has failed now. It is failing now because of the political disturbances of oil industry. The groundnut oil is spoiled. So this is how, well, I told you in the beginning, was all political, and these are traditional sustainable agriculture practices, use of local built biofertilizer and pesticides, so many things to discuss. The time is inadequate for me. Then wetland culture, then Podu in Tamil Nadu, Koru Puttu traditional agriculture, then natural farming. Then Fukuoka was the father of natural farming 1913 to 2008, and one star revolution, all of you remember. The what I have presented there and summarizing here, their objectives: preserve natural flora and fauna, restore soil health and fertility, maintain diversity of crop production, utilize land and natural resources like air, water, promote natural benefits, insects, animals. So there are so many natural benefits. Now insects may be becoming another source of food for you. Now yellow mealworm, you know, yellow mealworm? You don't know yellow mealworm, entomologist. Have you heard of it, yellow mealworm? It feeds on the dungs and wastes. It's coming in a big way. They feed as a protein source to the poultry, yellow mealworm. And there are many insects are being used, yellow mealworm like that. to promote local breeds of livestock. Now it is coming up, kill animals are coming in Karnataka and diversification, the use of natural and local resources based inputs, reduce input cost of agricultural production, improve economics of the farmer. Then what is natural farming? It is defined as a chemical free farming and livestock based, soundly grounded as agroecology. It is diversified farming system that integrates crops, trees, livestock, allowing optimum use of functional diversity. It is nothing but our farming system approach, natural farming. But here externality of any implements are there. See, according to Fukuyama, there is not to be disturbed, but according to Subor Palekar, we have to disturb the soil. This is the basic difference. There are many differences which are going to come up. Holds the promise to enhancing the farmer's income, but you have to see now, the farming approach was introduced Fukuyama in 2075 in his book, One Star Revolution. The significance of natural farming is minimum cost of production, ensure better health, employment generation, environment conservation, livestock sustainability and resilience. There are many things, but these are all only in English books. We have to wait and see how it is going to affect. That's what I am telling you. Taking this in queue, you have to develop a course curriculum. That's why I listed all these things. Taking these factors into, because the future generation is in your hand. Future generation of agriculture graduates are in your hand. You are all assistant professors and associate professors. We have to develop a course curriculum on the natural farming. This is ICR. We should define ourselves that this is how we should go. Only to take course when you go for a BSc agriculture or BSc horticulture and natural farming. When you divide it. That's what I am going in deep in this way. That government initiatives. The policy on organic matter 2005, then Parampagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, then mass movement, suggestive means to scale up the natural farming. How to scale up the natural farming is a major, promoting tribal areas is one of the major area where you have to tackle. The tribal area if you want to go for natural farming. That is one of the best places. In the rainfed areas, the promoting, see, even if you go for 50% of the irrigated area, still 50% of the land. See, India is one of the best, biggest country where we have 154.8 million tons of, 8 million hectares of land. It's the cultivable. It's the largest cultivable area in the world, India. There may be, but cultivable area is India is the biggest one. Then go for promoting natural farming, rainfed area beyond the genetic, Indo-Gangetic basins, securing insurance to organic farmers, any transactions of agriculture, then challenges of nature farming, decline in yield, shortage of natural inputs, resistance to chemical inputs, industry, lack of consensus on scientific community, and what is sustainable, I have given you already, I have given a big way. Prominent systems is sustainable, organic farming, natural farming, all these systems I have discussed. Hydroponics, aquaponics and transformative adaptive agriculture. This is coming up now a big way. This hydroponics and what you call is not suitable for nutrition security. Not meant for nutrition security because we need nearly about 19 micronutrients. But hydroponics will not provide all the micronutrients. It is flaw. That's why for lettuce they grow, Western world, special hydroponics they grow. But it is no, nutritive value is not there. The hydroponics will not provide you any nutrition food to the man. Best way is to go for organic farming. Like this, then how are the sectors responsible for climate change? 21% of the total greenhouse emissions across the globe are from agriculture, forestry and other land use. Major source of emissions include deforestation, then wetland degradation, methane emission from erratic fermentation and from the small ruminant and from anaerobic fermentation in manure management process. See, for example, one of the best is waste management today. One of the best course we should think of to modify that waste management in urban waste. We don't have the place. How to manage this waste should be the organic major courses. Course content when you develop this course. Then methane emission. See, methane emission can be reduced in animals. If we provide proper green food and green vegetable, green material, the methane emissions can be minimized from the animals too. Then carbon emissions from fertilizer, pesticides, and how climate change predicted impact of agriculture production is slowed growth of agriculture productivity due to greenhouse, increased occurrence of pest, weed and diseases. But unfortunately it is not so in all the weeds. See, for example, once upon a time the Parthenium was one of the problematic weed across the railway lines. Today it is disappearing. Is it due to climate change or due to rainfall? We don't know. We have to assess. The Parthenum is no more a problematic weed in many areas. Earlier, all along the railway track, it was a major problem. Today, like that, water hyacinth was a problem in many water area. Now it's creating, now we have yet to study these aspects in a bigger way, then change in distribution of growing area, suitability of timing and key biological events such as flowering impacts and food quality and harvestability. You have to be in depth, you have to bring it, the knowledge is there, you have to put it in a proper way. Then adverse impact associated with climate related extremes like droughts, floods and marine heat waves. These are all the need of the government. Fisheries culture is considered. Then the prominent systems practices involved in sustainable, once again it is repeated. Then challenges associated with the this one here, hesitant with the farmers to take up this sustainable agriculture practices. They don't go for this. Then initial decline in yields, labor intensive, lack of assured market, then cumbersome certification process, capital requirement, knowledge barrier, then government issues, so many schemes. All assistant professors should be aware of this. See, for example, NSMSA, National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, rainfed area development, then agroforestry, then National Bamboo Mission. Do you know? National Bamboo Mission is 9,000 crore mission. Only to get a round shaped bamboo sticks, they have introduced this. We used to have only 4 square. So we, to get that, we don't have a machine to, I will give the slides, Baba. You give me email. You give me your email in a paper, I will give you all this to you. You take it. Then soil health management, then Paramparagat Krishi, because PKVY, then Bharatiya Prakritik Krishi Paddhati, then capital investment subsidy scheme, then climate change and sustainable agriculture monitoring, modeling and networking is the need of the These are all the government schemes. Then potentials. And how to do this? You have to bring all these 4 slides. Then provision for transition support plan, strengthening of green markets. This is how we have to develop. Then rethinking of economic priorities, strengthening certification regimes, promoting sustainable post-productions, establishing dedicated financial policy, challenges widely held, our values are, these are all the challenges what we have. Then, for example, Sikkim model. Sikkim is the best example. Political will, as I told you, political will and commitment along with the well-defined targets made Sikkim one of the best states in the world to have organics. These are all the issues. Launch of organic missions, they train farmers, all the steps have been given to you. Then we spend billions of dollars to find life on other planets. We spend, I don't know, if I say Space Fellow will say, but and trillions of dollars killing the life on this. You need this? Think it over. I will leave it to you. So, conclusion. One of the main goals of maintaining, mainstreaming sustainable agricultural practices is to bring transformation in global food system to make them more sustainable and resilient. And this would require adoption of a food system approach to bring reforms across all the elements, people, infrastructure, institutions, etc., and activities that relate to the production, processing, distribution and consumption of food, and outputs of these activities include socio-economic and environmental activities. That means waste recovery, which I told you. Waste recovery. See, for example, in Bengaluru alone, which has been estimated that we lose about 1,400 crores every year in marriages. Waste. Think of throughout the India, how much it's going to be. Waste, what we are getting. All sweet, in marriages, 3 to 4 sweets we serve. What is the purpose of being sold to 5, 6 sweets? It's waste. Rice is waste. Everything is wasted. Same way, waste management, I tell you, it's one of the best options for our organics. Then food production. See, for example, hardly we have good production techniques. Processing. There more than 2 to 3% processing is not there. But we have indigenous knowledge, ITKs, in food processing and production. You have to adopt ITKs. Lot of ITKs are there. Even for 40-50 days, the rotis from Maharashtra and Jawar can be kept without any spoil. They eat with curds. Am I right? Jawar roti. The same way, we have to create processing units. Then especially distribution systems and the retail market and consumption. Is the most important parameter, and we have to I thank you all for listening to me, and any questions I am ready to answer. In-depthly, I thank profusely, and I hope in hurriedly I have covered. The time is inadequate for me because it would have taken more than 3 hours of time. I have covered it in 1.5 hours. I am very, very sorry. I would have given much more examples to you in various aspects of marketing and other aspects, especially on microorganisms, and where we have very good knowledge on biofertilizers, bioingredient, etc. I could not cover those aspects because of the time paucity. So with this, I wish you all the best, and I wish you a happy Deepavali, which is going to come forward for you. And I hope you will spearhead and make the young generation perspective and develop a holistic approach of natural farming, a degree course for the sustainability of this Mother Earth. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much for elaborate coverage of the topics what I have assigned to you. But I am very sorry, I should not trouble sir for giving the lecture for another half an hour. But we have a resource person online, sir. He is joining at 11:30 exactly from Delhi.
That's why I stopped it.
Sir was ready even at 9 o'clock, but because of the arrival of the participants gets delayed. That's why I requested him to take the class at 10 o'clock. So I am really very sorry, sir, for not giving sufficient time for your lecture. Anyhow, sir will be with us during lunch hour also. And if time permits, I'll give another half an hour time to discuss with our participants regarding the any clarifications or doubts you have.
1 or 2 questions, very important questions if you have, you can discuss with the resource person. Any questions?
If you have assigned regarding the ITK, apart from that, in our horticulture produce more than on an average 26% crop loss, post-harvest losses is there. It also hampered this our sustainability. Apart from urbanizations, and these are also problems, biodiversity degradation. And what is your personal opinion regarding weather-based crop insurance?
Support with various warehouses. We don't have warehouses. For example, onion and nuts, there is no onion storage. So support, that's what I told you. The infrastructure needed for post-harvest management is made. Also, having very good knowledge on preserving techniques. They have both preserve vegetables. They know how to process the vegetables and also how to process the non-vegetarian foods. But we don't have infrastructure to store these items in a bigger way. They want to commercialize. So sustainability is good. But when you think of a bigger compound, we should go in a bigger way. So what you said is 26% loss is there in nitrogen and monoculture. Proper management strategy has to be taken. That's what I told you. But developing this course of nitrogen management, see that the post-harvest management is very strong. Especially on organic. See, for example, if you have banana, or if you have any watermelon crops, develop a mechanism in such a way that take the machinery to the farmer's field. Instead of transporting such a bulk material to the cities, take the, for example, watermelon. You have a crusher there, prepare a juice, the juice in the pineapple also is called as mobile processing units. Mobile, that's what you call in a big way. Finest things are available today. So mobile processing units, you take it to the bottom place where all farmers are there. Process them, take it to the factory for processing and go on. So I fully agree with you. There is a lot of And also teaching forward from Maharashtra. What a beautiful concept they have done. Just the amount of powder they mix, still it is in secret. You can't make this. So such type of mechanism has to come. See, for example, bear cut will make from Maharashtra. Even the entire India is full of bear cut because they have developed a diversified market. So people have to buy not enough. So this has to be a value addition has to come to the market in vegetables also. Say for example, dry living is also needed. You can develop.
Any other questions? If there are no questions, sir, they will also discuss some of the issues during the lunch hour. Sir will be here up to 3:30. If time permits, sir, again I will request our resource person of Agriculture to address all of you after the lunch.
Sorry to give you some of your opinions, not from our eyes.
Other class. Farming. He started his professional assignment in Department of Agriculture, Government of Rajasthan, and then with the Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India. So he served as Director of National Center of Organic Farming. He spearheaded the organic farming movement in the country and abroad, and he has specifically contributed to the designing, launching and implementing the various schemes for transforming farmers to organic and facilitating certification access. So major contributions of Dr. A.K. Yadav sir is planning and designing of schemes related to organic farming, networking of farmers for cluster development, continuous improvement in certification and in development of regulatory framework of organic inputs, and supported many states to define their policies with respect to organic farming. So sir is identified as a member for various committees. He is in the expert panels and task force on biofertilizers, biopesticides and organic farming, and he has immensely contributed for policy developments at both central and state level. He had also been the member of Research Advisory Committee for various research institutes such as IIFSR Modipuram and also IIHR Bangalore. He has authored more than 12 books and manuals on organic agriculture, and sir has visited more than 32 countries on assignments related to organic agriculture. Currently, Dr. A.K. Yadav sir is associated with the Integrated Nutrient Management Division in the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare at the Government of India, and he is involved in policy planning process of Government of India with respect to organic farming and natural farming. So, with this brief introduction about Dr. A.K. Yadav sir, he is the person responsible for promotion of both organic and natural farming at the national as well as at the state level. So now we are going to have a national mission on natural farming. He is also person behind the development of a national mission on natural farming. So now I request our honorable resource person Dr. A.K. Yadav sir to brief us about scope of natural farming in India. Sir?
Thank you very much
Okay, sir.
for a so detailed introduction. I think my presentation is visible,
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir. Visible.
but I don't know, I am not able to make it full screen. Just.
Now, is it clear to you, sir?
Yes, it's clear to me.
Okay.
Actually, I'm trying to make the presentation full screen, it's not getting. So I'll share it and share it again.
Okay, sir. You go to presentation mode, sir.
Presentation mode, but actually the presentation mode tab is not visible here. So, let me do it again. ये इसको कैसे करना है, इसको फुल स्क्रीन में कैसे करेंगे?
Hello.
Yes, just I'm sharing. Yes.
Sir.
You have to give me the permission. I think it's not, I'm not having the permission from your side.
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ
Now, okay?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್
I have now it there, full screen.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್
So thank you very much for inviting me and for giving me the opportunity to present about the natural farming programs what are happening at the national level and what type of overall scenario is going on with the natural farming country. Now, how we will know how the members are government officers in universities like basically we are moving from a chemical intensive farming system to a non-chemical farming systems. There can be hundreds of we can say variants which have been developed over the years where farmers or even the owners they have put forward various after non-chemical farming and having the different names. Almost from last 20 years you might have heard about the organic farming and now another form of non-chemical farming which is considered as a step ahead of organic farming. Although all the components of the organic farming are there in the natural farming, unique features also. So that's why how it is being promoted. So let's say what is the overall perception into the international community and what exactly we understand about the natural farming in our country. You know, you may be knowing very well that globally or organic is much more widely known, but natural farming is also being given as a ecological approach which works in harmony with nature, avoiding synthetic inputs, fostering healthy soil through cover cropping, mulching, beneficial crops, and by prioritizing local resources, biodiversity and symbiotic relationships. And it is understood that it promotes sustainability. This method enhances soil fertility, conserves water, reduces ecological impact, contributing to long-term agriculture value. But now if you see all those aspects, they are basically the words which are enshrined to all the philosophies which are promoted causing now. But if you come down to the Indian context, it is slightly more focused. Our Indian natural farming is more based on plant regeneration, biomass recycling through mulching, soil regeneration through use of indigenous and crop protection through on-farm botanical confections, in exclusion of on-capital inputs. Natural farming in India is very peculiar and slightly different from other countries that it prohibits the use of any form of purchased inputs. It will be chemical, it may be organic or other. Now these are some of the benefits which are being put forward, that it discourages the environmental exposure to pesticides and chemicals. It builds the soil, help combat soil erosion, fights the effect of global warming, encourages biodiversity, supports animal health and welfare, discourages algal blooms which are the result of the high nitrogen usage into the trees, and then supports water conservation and water health. Now, these are some of the salient features I have summarized into the boxes, like minimal human intervention, local or local farming, no synthetic chemicals in any form, directly or indirectly. It emphasizes on use of indigenous microorganisms, means the biofertilizers which are being made from the exotic or from the external microorganisms, they are also not very much preferred. Then mulching, crop rotation, natural pest control, seed sale diversity. One of the major emphasis on the natural farming in India is the self-sufficiency in inputs, means no external inputs. And that includes intercropping, polyculture, holistic land management, symbiotic relationships, minimal machinery, and respect for the nature. Now, when we go in field with such type of aim, then ultimately we have to decide how we can achieve all these objectives in our practices. So these are the ones I have listed, mainly most of 5 ones. First is the adoption of diversified cropping system-based agriculture, which comprises of mixed farming, intercropping, crop rotation, etc. Mixed farming could be anything, linear farming or cropping. Then recycling nutrients and trees that involve the on-farm composting and green manuring, recycling of on-farm related biomass through mulching and straight biomass incorporation to the soil. Then use of local development defined that plant, animal, microbe resources. These are indigenous organisms, natural pesticides and fertilizers, and animal irrigation. The natural farming emphasizes innovative practices based on local conditions like local knowledge, continuous observation, experimentation, and climate responsive farming. Now, if we adopt all these things, what are the important scopes which natural farming can address? So, I divided into 6 categories. First is the environmental, which helps into the soil health, builds biodiversity, supports water conservation efforts, and reduce or minimize burden. Under economic scope, It provides cost efficiency to the farmers. There is also scope for premium pricing and is resilient. Among health scope, but we are not going to put the chemical inputs, we provide the nutritious food and the residues. Among the social sector scopes, empower the communities, connect them with the nature. It also encourages the moving through the technological aids and globally finally helps into the climate change sustainable development goals. Now, how does that grow in our countries? Around 5 years or 4 years ago, a concept of zero farming was implemented, which was based upon the basic 5 basic farm inputs. And there were 5 important points: the diversified multi-cropping systems, use of the non-urine concoction, Jivamrit and Jivamrit, then mulching the oil through the organic or green oil, then Wapsar management into the soil, and finally the plant botanical concoctions. But these were the ones where the entire movement basically started. But over the years, new thoughts are coming, the farmers learning are also being created. So now what we see today is a dynamically evolving. There cannot be one system for natural farming. It can be different at different places, and time also at one place also. It will be evolving. Like what we have seen during the last 2 years, a lot of innovations like dry sowing method of green manuring, the use of farmyard manure, vermicompost are also being integrated with the natural farming. One more question has been integrated in community approach. But there are now, because our natural farming is largely dependent upon the cattle output. So there are many farmers nowadays who do not have the. So how to bring the farmers into the mainstream of natural farming? That can be done through the community approach inputs, where the livestock farmers who are having the cattle take the natural farming inputs and make it available to the others. So there can be a collaboration between the villages between the farmers having the cattle and farmers not having the cattle. Now, we have been frequently listening about, there is a confusion about farming, what is organic farming. What I request is, we have to move chemical intensive farming to the non-chemical farming. Now, this may not happen overnight. And you also understand, we have spent billions of dollars of investment into the institutional development, scientific development of packaging practices. There is a huge backup of scientific institutions in precision agriculture. But if we see how we are going to promote the organic or you can say natural farming, so far not have any defined institutions to the country compared to the capital ones. And also from policy perspective, the type of support which is available to the commercial agriculture, that is also not available to the organic. So under the given scenario, let's not compare the commercial agriculture or to the organic or natural agriculture. But we have to start it really from scratch, then we should be able to understand that how the different systems are having the specific features. So we come down to the organic agriculture farming. Both are non-chemical systems of farming. Both are based on diversity of farm biomass management and rejuvenation of biological nutrient recycles. Both promote diversity, rotation, multiple cropping and recycling. Now these are the common features for both. Now what is unique into the organic farming scheme? organic farming is open for use of farm organic and biological inputs. Organic farming is also open for micronutrient correction through use of minerals such as lime, phosphates, and minerals of micronutrients. Organic farming is widely recognized world over, backed with regulation, standards, and certification, and developed trade is there. But if we see to the natural farming, which we say is step ahead of organic farming, and the major difference between the two systems is in that farming avoids or excludes the role of purchased inputs. Means it provides freedom to the farmer from market inputs. And in this case, all the inputs need to be generated on the farm from the resources available on the farm or in the closed vicinity. But we are at a very early stage. Natural farming systems are evolving. If we go to the certificate preparation, natural farming is not regulated and trade limited to private levels or in the local. The current also, not much of the emphasis is being laid onto the certification and its regulation. We are trying to promote it as an alternative method of farming, trying to create awareness from the farmers and asking if you find suitable, if you find value, then adopt it. Now, something about KFBC. How much is the commercial prospects are there for both organic and natural farming? Because organic farming is an established total over. The systems are there, data is available. So as per the latest data, almost 190 countries, 75 million hectares of the land which is served. Then the global trade is somewhere about $5 billion. And most of this business or trade is happening in the US. Very interesting thing is the world is doing the organic. Only the consumers in the US, even Canada. Same was true in our India. But now our domestic markets are also growing. But a lot of estimates are available. But if we take an average of the various estimates which are available, somewhere in 2019-20, market world over was estimated at $120 billion is expected to reach almost $235 to $275 billion by 2027. If we come down to India, in 2019-20, it was about 11,400 crore. Now it is almost about 22,000 crore. It was doubled in the last 4 years. Exports are accounting for the major share of almost 50%. And if we see towards the natural side, we do not have any data on area and growth. But the agencies estimates say it was 120 billion in 2012 and it is projected to reach 360 billion by 2031. A growth rate of almost about 11.44% is being projected. But very peculiar thing is what happened. The agency created such type of example. They actually have taken the organic also within it. So it's very difficult to say whether the natural data which is being presented here, it will be other than the organic or it includes the organic. From last 4 years, Government of India is also trying to promote the natural farming and through the various central government and state government efforts. A small amount of area has also been covered under natural farming. Roughly around 13 lakh hectare area has been initiated under natural farming in 17 states. I am not saying that it has been transformed to the natural farming. I am saying it is initiated. Getting the farmers on board, convincing them, and adopting natural farming will take some time. It will not be an overnight issue. So, what happens is that initiation has been done. I think I have given the presentation to the area-wise figures which you have connected to. Sorry, some sound. Now okay. Now there are some challenges like awareness is very low about the practices. So we need massive promotion. Seeds is one of the major roadblocks because the seeds which are available to the market are all high yielding seeds or hybrid seeds which are prone or insensitive to the environment of the chemical input. So it's specific type of seed. Then there is a lot of demand, supply disparity. Some logistics problems are there, sometimes there is not enough market. And so far in our country we do not have any verification system by which we can convince the consumer that the product is naturally good. Now, to promote the natural farming in its systematic manner, Government of India is launching a national mission of natural farming. Is where the natural farming is being promoted to the mission mode. Now, when we created and conceived the idea of promoting the natural farming to the mission mode, then our basic thinking was how to take it forward to the farmers. Where from last 70 years we have been promoting another set of farming system. And what we realized in natural farming is not just about doing away with chemicals. It also requires so many things. So we have to understand the natural farming only from the binary view of chemicals versus sustainable. Sustainable agriculture, food systems enhance nutrition density in agricultural crops. Instead of emphasizing more quantity production or per unit area production, it emphasizes more on how much is the nutrition and drive it into the crops. It improves the ecosystem health and then certainly the soil health. And we take it as an initiative for health and nutrition, not only for farmers but also for consumers. And we also take it away that natural farming can also be promoted as a means of achieving growth, improving net incomes, enhancing rural enterprises, and strengthening short value chains. When we say short value chains, we will not be emphasizing the natural farming for production, certification, and then export. We will be emphasizing mainly on the local production, local marketing and local consumption. And all these if we do it will help restoration of the biodiversity. Now we have launched a national mission on natural farming recently. These are the major objectives. To promote alternative system of farming for cost reduction and increasing income of farmers. To popularize integrated agriculture animal husbandry model based on basic cow and local resources, to collect, validate and document natural farming practices being practiced in various parts of the country and to encourage participatory research with farmers on further upscaling. To undertake activities for awareness creation, capacity building, promotion, demonstration of natural farming, and to create standard certification procedures and branding for natural farming. Last part we will be taking up mainly maybe after the 2 or 3 years of rollout of the national mission. Initially we will be concentrating mainly on the first 4 objectives. But now when we move in there, how we will make a transition even in the implementation of the national mission. So this year and the next year will be a seeding phase, where the institution at the central and state level will be developed. We can build their capacity, and among those institutions at central level, manage has been identified as a knowledge partner. National Center for Organic and Natural Farming will be supporting for certification and training purposes. With the help of KSNUAHS, we have identified almost about 425 KVKs as model centers of demonstration and training, and then state missions for on-field implementation. The state missions will be created under the Department of Agriculture. This part has more or less been done. Now we are entering into the execution phase, which involves capacity building and orientation of KVKs, state implementing agencies such as district officers, Atma network and other government, non-government agencies. Then identifying champion farmers, or what we can say practicing natural farmers, and local resource institutions, maybe like NGOs or maybe other institutions. And once this is done, then we will be operating a year-long farmer field schools with practicing natural farmers in the center as a technology demonstrator. Once we complete this part, then we will enter into the third phase, which is the extension phase, which will be taken up through the cluster developments, and we will be identified almost over 15,000 blocks, one cluster of 15 hectares each block. These clusters will be transformed to be having almost about 100 to 125 farmers. Then once this will done, there will be certification will be done, networking of the other factors will also be done. Even we have identified a technology which is known as the rapid pesticide residue testing. The cost is not very big, so we are trying to. This is also this technology to ensure that really the farmer, those who undertake the natural farming, they produce is really pesticide free. And then we will take up the final part, that how these clusters will be linked to the market. So they will be enabled for developing the local supply chains. This is about that what are the targets that we have kept during the next 3-4 years. 20,000 farmer field schools, or where we are named as Prakratik Kheti Pathshalas, targeting 7.5 lakh hectare area, means 15,000 clusters. Farmer-friendly certification system, chain of rapid residue testing laboratories, and developing local value chains. And this is how a comprehensive strategy will be managed. NCNF, KVKs will play the lead role. The deployment of master trainers and champion farmers. On-field schools will be taken up. When winning farmers, those will be coming out of the on-field schools, they will be registered under the clusters. And then, over a period of time, we can also think of federating these clusters into the FPOs, and also integrate a simplified certification system, helping them branding and market linkages. Now in this one, when we launch this one, we also find out what will be a deficiency in many of the areas, especially in intensively cultivated areas where chemical input usage is high. Now farmers are not rearing the cattle, and the fundamental inputs which are needed for the natural farming are derived from their excreta, dung and urine. How this can be done? So a new concept has been added to the National Mission on Natural Farming with the establishment of 10,000 bio-input resource centers. These bio-input resource centers will be established close to the area where we are going to take up the farmers field school, and as well as where we are going to create the clusters. These will be operated mainly by the self-help groups, our Krishi Sakhis, even FPOs, or even the local rural entrepreneurs, those who have got access to the cattle dung and urine. And they will be developed in such a way that they can create a small production facility in the rural area villages, where they can develop such type of Jivamrit, Bijamrit or botanical concoctions for plant protection also. And then they can sell it locally to the farmer who are going to adopt natural farming, and those who are not able to make these inputs by themselves on their own. So what we hope that with this intervention, one of the major constraints that farmers initially may not be willing to make their own inputs, and cattle are not available to every farmer, so how those farmers will be facilitated with the natural farming. So I think this bio-input resource centers can help them in a much bigger way. Now, as I said, this institutional structure at the central level is already created. We have already started doing some work, like Manage has taken up a massive exercise of sensitization of gram plants. Almost about now 97 sensitization workshops were done, and almost about 57,000 gram plants were informed about the benefits and the usefulness of natural farming. These were just the awareness or sensitization workshops. Many have also undertaken trainings to create 550 master trainers belonging to many states. Lot of literature which have been collected from the farmers and the fertilizing farms that have been compiled and translated into 22 regional languages. Videos have been prepared. Pilot study of status of natural farming in 5 states were undertaken by the Manage. And now, online orientation course will be started immediately after the launch of the national mission. We have identified almost 16 subjects, and the online orientation course will be in audio-visual mode. Initially with Hindi and English, but the other languages and virtually will also be integrated. Similarly, NCNF has been identified as a nodal agency for certification, training, documentation and dissemination of best practices. They have also taken up certain activities, they have trained the youths and continuously they are training. ICR has also taken up some exercise through their KVKs. They have trained almost about 360,000 farmers. Outscaling is being done at 425 KVKs, where the 63,000 farmers are being trained. Research and characterization of NF inputs has already started under the AINPOF. We are along with the organic farming, the characterization of the practices of this natural farming practices are also being done. And you may be aware that ICR has already modified the course curriculum for undergraduate or postgraduate courses into the natural farming. Now, this is just a glimpse of that. A website has been launched on National Mission on Natural Farming, which will provide the knowledge management program. And once the NMNF is launched, then the entire monitoring and data management will also be done through the same portal. Many is also having their own portal on natural farming, and they will be taking up our online courses, mainly the registration of the farmers and so on through that portal. Now, with this one, we have a long-term goal that over a period of 4 to 5 years. Can we associate 1 crore farmers to start experimenting with natural farming? And we will build our strategy on these activities which we are proposing. We are going to have about 10,000 BRCs. We will be having about 30,000 champion farmers and community resources. There will be about 20,000 farm field schools. There will be KVKs, and it will be there NCNF. So a lot of capacity building work will be taken up. Inputs will be made available. And what we feel in the first year, maybe around 15 lakh seed farmers will be ready over 7.5 hectare of the land. Second year, these farmers will help disseminating the awareness to the next set of farmers. So we expect 45 lakh farmers. And maybe in 3 to 5 years, we may be able to touch almost about 1 crore farmers. Now, briefly, I'll tell you what developments have also been taken place into the certification for natural farming. Although certification is not being launched immediately, because still the farmers are in the process of getting aware, getting tuned with the practices, and it will take about a year or maybe 2 years time to improve the affordable and traceable. Now, before we go, we just study what are the international scenario into the certification system for natural farming. Almost about 5 types of certifications are available mostly into the Western world. These are the regenerative organic certified, certified regenerative, then certified naturally grown, rainforest lands, and certified regenerative engineering. So these are some of the ones. These are more or less, none of them is regulated, none of them is promoted by the government agency. They are mostly the private levels, and half of the cases they are add-on to organic, means the farmer has to become organic first and then he is eligible for all this certification. And only in 1 or 2 cases they are standalone certification also. So after having screened the literature scenarios, what we have tried to make a certification for the country. Our aim of this certification is to establish institutional network for providing documented and verifiable assurance to the consumers. Now this certification will be applicable on crop production, livestock and primary processing. Initially, multi-ingredient processing involving ingredients from different certification systems are not being covered under this one. Means it will be more or less a rural farming activity where the certification will be done on the farm, and even if your primary processing is done in the farm or in the rural, that part only will be covered. Organized processing will not be there. Now this certification will be available into the 3 categories. Standalone certification for crop production, livestock and livestock, maybe separately or maybe integrated. Then natural landscape certification for traditional natural areas, and then it will be add-on certification to organic certification. Now these are the standards. I am not going to read all of them. I think organizers can provide you the details. Recently, BIS has also identified the standards and they are available on their website. You can see it from there. We have made the standards for 3 categories: crop production, livestock, and processing and handling. Now, what is just a brief of how the certification process will work. No documentation in hard copies will be needed. Entire documentation will be done through the Natural Farming Certification System portal, which will be a part of the National Mission Natural Farming website. Anybody who wanted to get certification, he has to apply online through certification portal and take a pledge. We have to create the group. The group will undertake the peer appraisal and collectively decide on compliance. Basically, we self-decision on their certification status by the group itself. Then group will undertake the peer appraisal, and once they do it, their verification will be done by the local authorities. It may be a Gram Panchayat, block level, agriculture department official or no official, or any authorized civil society organization or local SHG legal which have been authorized for such type of verification. Just based upon their verification, the certification will be given. Initially, for 2 years, the cross verification by these authorities will be necessary, and once they have proved to be trustable, integrity is good, then there may not be every year or every season's requirement for verification, and there will be only the random verification after some time. All certification activity will be done through the portal. Certificate will be generated from the certification portal. Individual producer obtain verification report from local designated authority, and whatever certificate will be generated, so that will be valid for that particular crop season. We also have a proposal on which we are still working. With that, each certificate will be issued with a QR code that can be affixed on the produce, and this will provide the entire traceability. Anybody can scan that QR code. We have initially developed it, but we are facing some teething problem, and that is done. I think that portion will also be there. So this QR code will also come automatically with the certificate. So as you complete all the activity, you are eligible for certificate, you get the certification, you get this QR code. Now, this is how the institutional structure of the traceability platform will work. Department of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare will be the controller, NCNS will be the secretariat, local authorities will be the authorization authorities for verification. Even block level also some verification will be done, and individual farmer group or on-farm processor, they can be certified. Now this is how this traceability will be maintained through this QR code. So thank you. This is all I wanted to say. Now, from my side, it is forum is open for any questions or discussion.
Hello. Sir,
Yes.
thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your nice presentation. I invite our participants to clarify any of their doubts, sir. Any questions? Pardon? Procedure. Sir, one of our participants is having a clarification regarding certification process in natural farming, sir.
Yes, please. What is the question?
Question is on certification procedure for natural farming products.
First thing is right now we have developed this certification system which is not in place. And I think the certification system will be launched only after about a year and a half time. So in the first stage, it's not there.
Any other questions? Sir, one more question is again on certification only. Hello?
What is the question?
Sir, certification procedure with respect to organic farming and natural farming, both are similar or they are different, sir?
First thing is, I'll just give you a brief note. Organic farming certifications in our country, we have two types of certification. One is the third-party certification system, which is ISO based and controlled by the Ministry of Commerce and India. It's a very complex system, requires a lot of documentation, and every time a physical verification is done by the third party, and based on the physical verification, the certification is given. We also have another certification which we call as the PGS India Organic Certification, where the regional councils are there, where the farmers do the peer appraisal by themselves. They upload their information and they report and the recommendation on the portal, PGS portal. And then the regional council undertake the random verification of those farmers. And based upon their outcome, they allow the certification. So now, if you compare natural farming certification, which we have proposed, is slightly different. Here the standards are much simpler, very easy to understand, no documentation is required, and here the verification will be done not through the distant agencies, but by the local authorities, maybe in the gram or block. And as I have said already, the standards major difference between the organic and natural is both the systems basically depend upon the same type of systems, while organic is open for use of external organic inputs and biological inputs. Like you can buy the compost from outside, you can buy biofertilizer, you can buy biopesticides. You can also use the lime for pH correction. You can also use gypsum. Or wherever you can determine some micronutrient deficiency through soil testing and also using mineral of the particular micronutrient. But in case of natural farming, all other practices remain the same, but any purchase, use of any purchased input or bringing from outside is not allowed. All the inputs are to be produced on the farm from the resources available on the farm or the local vicinity or the village. That is the main difference between the two. I already said certification will be more or less a local verification based certification. And major reason for this difference is that initially we are not planning to launch the natural farming products as the standard products for the long distance markets or the international market, but we will be targeting mainly for the local market. I hope I am clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. There is allowed of artificial insemination in animals by the rule, but it is either local breed or exotic breeds.
Sir, one of the question from the participant is, hello, can you hear me, sir?
Please go ahead.
Whether artificial insemination in livestock animals is allowed in natural farming, sir?
Artificial insemination is allowed, yes.
And again, it is for the local made only.
Actually it's standard because we have tried to make it as simple as possible, so we have not mentioned anything about the local breed or exotic breed, nothing like that. Any breed, any breed.
Any other questions? Sir, one more question is,
Yes.
when you plan for national mission on natural farming, what is the target for bringing the target area for bringing the area under natural farming, sir? What percentage of land area can be brought under natural farming?
We organize that very fast. You know, we are starting a program and starting a transition process. So we are not thinking of transiting say 10% area or 5% area, nothing like that. With the national mission, our initial activity will be to try and transform minimum of 7.5 lakh hectare area under natural farming. And along with that area, we try to create good awareness in about 20 lakh farmers and try to create awareness and information dissemination to about 1 crore farmer over a period of 5 years. Our purpose is initially to create awareness, to tell the farmer, tell the benefits, disseminate the practices, focus only on very few farmers who will act as a model demonstration center. And if farmer will see the value in it, then they will come forward and automatically adopt.
Sir, one more question is, hello.
Please go ahead.
Sir, is there any scientific validation done with respect to all the natural farming practices by any of the institutes, either from the SCIUs or from the central institutes, so that after scientific validation of the natural farming practices, those can be further transmitted to the farmer's field. Is there any study on scientific validation of natural farming practices has been done?
Yes, yes. Actually, one thing is there now, the scientific validation of certain practices is being taken up by the All India Network Project on Organic Farming and Natural Farming. But all those studies are underway. So far, not much of the results are available. Now the question is whether we can disseminate the practices without the scientific validation. We have done a lot of studies. We have evaluated thousands of farmers by 3-4 committees. We have documented the practices that have been developed by the farmers. So our initial strategy is not to wait for the scientific validation of these practices, but to adopt the practices which are being adopted by the successful practicing natural farmers, and we will bring the other farmers also based upon the same practices. So right now we are going into the scientific validation, but that will take its own time. That will come in due course of time, but whatever information we have collected, documented, witnessed and verified of the practicing farmer, we are going to promote the natural farmer, we have about that information.
Sir, one more question is,
Please carry on, no issue.
sir, we already have a National Center for Organic Farming. I think now
Yes.
it is renamed as National Center for Organic and Natural Farming.
Yes.
Some of the participants are asking whether there is any nodal agency of ICR which is working on natural farming. So, am I right, sir? Our National Center on Organic Farming is also looking after natural farming.
First thing is,
Yeah.
yes, this is true. The National Center for Organic Farming has been renamed as a National Center for Organic and Natural Farming, and all the regional stations have also been renamed as a Regional Centers for Organic and Natural Farming. We are taking up the training program and capacity building program. So far, no central or nodal institutes have been notified by the ICR. I think gradually we will come up. Initially, the first phase, about 425 KVKs have been identified. The program will be launched through them, and awareness program documentation, everything will be done only through those KVKs. And the Ataris will be the main, 11 Ataris will be the main coordinating institutes with coordinating with the KVKs.
Sir, one more question is on. Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Please go ahead, no issue.
One more question is on whether this natural farming is successful in commercial crops. Commercial crops are high nutrient requiring crops like chili, cotton and other crops. The other problem what we noticed in natural farming is it's okay with respect to nutrient supplementation, but when it comes to pest and disease management, it becomes a Herculean task to control the pests and diseases by using all these concoctions prepared from out of plant products. That's the one question asked by the participants.
If you understand the chemical natural systems, the basic good soil health and diversity. If you have good soil health and there is a on-farm diversity, then your pest problem will automatically comes down to less than 25%. And with that minimized problem, you can solve it. Another thing is in the natural and organic farming, pest management is mainly done as what is considered prophylactic practices, preventive practices. Most of the organic systems are not that strong enough so far, which can kill the pest when there is a good infestation. But we have studied large number of farmers mainly from pest and disease control. We have seen if there is adequate diversity on the farm and within the fields, the pest problem is not coming up in a very big way. Even I have personally seen the farm, natural farming field, which is surrounded by all the conventional farmers where a lot of pests are there and every third day they are doing. The natural farming fields or organic farming fields are not that affected and normally can go ahead without any problem. Problem remains is that we understand that, okay, let us not put chemicals, put the organic inputs or the natural inputs. Take up the monocropping, then certainly pest problem will be there and will not be easily implemented. The thing is that we are at a very early stage where this lot of scientific information is yet to come. Lot of studies have been done. And I think we need lot of work in all the universities to answer these questions.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay.
Is there any funding agency that is the right to the projects, research projects?
Sir, some of the participants are asking to have a long-term trial on natural farming. Is there any funding support from the ICAR or any of the funding agencies?
I think ICR will be providing, they have already been informed and I think they are already on the, but under our national mission also, we are keeping some provision for granting some of the projects. Like we have kept a proposal to grant some funds for the creation of the at least one model natural farm on each of the SAUs. And also we will be keeping up a proposal for competitive project funding. So, but that will come up, that actually I have not mentioned in my presentation because that part is yet to be cleared by the cabinet government of India. Once that is clear, then only we will be able to tell you how much it will be there. But yes, proposal is there, proposals have already been made.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Any other questions? They are not allowed. No. Organic farming is entirely different from natural farming. They are not allowed in natural farming. I clarify that.
One thing I will clarify again. Organic farming and natural farming is not entirely different. They are very much similar. Only difference between the two is organic farming gives a scope to use the inputs brought from outside. While natural farming says no, all the inputs should be generated from the farm.
Sir,
that's it. All natural farmers will also be organic farmers.
Sir,
But organic farmers may not be the natural farmers.
Sir, that's what they are asking, sir. Sometimes it's very difficult to prepare all the inputs on the farm itself in the natural farming.
Yes, I fully agree. Unless we create the diversity and we do it, that's why we have kept a provision for creation of that bio-input resource and 10,000 bio-input resource centers will be established, mainly to facilitate the supply of the inputs into the local areas.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Sir, thank you very much, sir, for sparing your valuable time. I know you are very busy at the headquarters. Nevertheless, you made it possible to address all our participants. On behalf of the university and on behalf of all our trainees, I profusely thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. My good wishes to everybody. Good wishes for the upcoming festival season.
Okay.
All the best. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. students, we thought that we will have the inaugural program in the morning. But because it has been postponed to afternoon, so hurriedly we fixed up the classes. So you have faced some difficulties also. Please bear with us, and from tomorrow onwards we are going to have a well-planned classes. Okay, with this we will close today's morning session. So lunch will be arranged in the guest house itself. So immediately after having the lunch, you come here for the afternoon class exactly at 2 o'clock. From 2 to 3:30 we will have one more class. A resource person is coming from Dharwad, US Dharwad. They have done some long-term experiments on natural farming. So he will be coming in the afternoon session, and he will tell you all the latest concepts of natural farming. What are the principles and practices and concepts of natural farming? So it will be very much useful to all of you. Why we are having online classes is because some of the resource persons, they are telling their difficulty to come over here from faraway places like Delhi and other places to here. That's why for some of the classes we made online class arrangement. Some other, more than 50% of the classes will be on offline only. So with this we will close today's morning session classes. Let us break for lunch, and after having the lunch, please be here by 2 o'clock.